It was in the year of our Lord, 1903, that Norwegian immigrants from the municipality of Selbu, Norway, settled in the Palouse Hills. These brave and faithful pioneers built a white church and started a cemetery on a 5-acre parcel of land that was donated by the George Wiggins Sr. family. During a very difficult life, with medical care, food, and most necessities far off in the distance, they found time to build this place of worship. Horses were used to plow the land and provide transportation. Life was challenging, but full of hope and promise. They could only imagine what adventures the 20th century would bring in this new land that they called home. Those sturdy immigrants built farmhouses, schools, and businesses, and had many children. They came to the little white church by foot and by horse-drawn carriages. The church grew. It was in 1928 that the congregation decided to build a larger and more permanent brick structure. 4 years later, in 1932, the first English sermon was preached. The transition began to reach not only the Norwegian community, but all people on behalf of Jesus Christ.
Selbu is important to me because I was here as a youngster. I started coming here when I was 12. I was baptized here, I was confirmed here, and I was married here.
This church is a very special place.
Selbu is very important to me because it's home. It is where I have always gone to church.
It's a beautiful church and it's been very well kept up, and it's home.
Selbu is many things. It is the name of our birthplace, Selbu, Norway. Selbu is rolling wheat fields, amber waves of grain. Selbu is the people, those from the past, those who are here now, and those who are yet to come. Selbu is a mixture of young and old. Selbu is history and heritage, and hopefulness for tomorrow. Selbu is so much more than just a small church on Mudflat Road. Selbu is a bright light in the Palouse Hills. Selbu is a ray of hope for tiny communities like Hay, Dusty, LaCrosse, Pampa Pond, Benj, and Endicott, along with larger towns like Colfax. Selbu is our home.
Selbu is important to me because the first time I walked in the door, I felt like I was home. I had gone to many other churches and I hadn't felt at home since I left my home church when I was very young. And walking in the door here, my heart just sang.
I've been coming here since I was a baby. Way back when, before they remodeled the church, my mom and dad brought me here growing up. I was confirmed when I was in junior high. My dad was one of the instrumental people that helped with the cemetery, remodel and put grass and underground sprinklers in, and after they got it all done, he was one of the first ones buried there. It's very important to me here. It just seems like a home away from home. It's just been a great place.
Selbu Lutheran Church is very important to me because it's been my church ever since I was born, basically. I was baptized here and confirmed here, and well, I always went here. And then when I came home from college and got married, then of course this was our church. We raised our kids here and they were baptized and confirmed and all that.
We see the cycle of life here, all the baptisms. I raised 2 daughters in this church. At the time, our minister had 4 kids, so they grew up together. And it's just, they still talk about those wonderful times. And coming to Sunday school and spending time. And of course, when you live this close to the church, you can sneak down and get a piece of candy out of the dish that's always full.
When I wasn't at Selbu, when I was going to the other churches in the 40 years that we were gone, most of them We were on the west side of the mountains, and most of the churches were big. They were just too big. I was raised here, and this is what I love, and this is how I am. At one point, I did go to another small church, and I became very involved in it. And I loved it too, but it wasn't home. I didn't feel what I feel here.
I have been coming here. I grew up just down the road, not even a half mile, in the gray house down the road, and have come here my whole life, with the exception of a few years there when my kids were real small. But I'm 48, so I've been here for 48 years.
It's the only church I've ever belonged to. 84 years, 83 and a half. When I was little, of course, there was a lot of the settlers, the first kind of people, and the place was full of old people, and I can still sit over there, go down that row and tell you everybody that sat there every Sunday. They had their own place, just like we do now.
Some of the people that came here later on, of course, what I went to church with today, but you know, you can tell, you know, stories, you can talk about the good old days.
Well, we officially used to live in Hay, and this is the church the kids grew up in, and we're baptized here, and you've married them, and this is our church family, and this is where we want to come, and it's our family. We tried to leave it, we came back. We like it here, so.
Couldn't have said it better myself. We grew up here, and then you've married us, and our boys have been baptized. Yep. So it's just when you find a place you like, you stick with it. So that's what we've done.
I kind of felt like I was crashing a family reunion. So then I thought, well, all the people there are my friends. I've known them my whole life. And so I'm going to try, and I signed the guest book as a guest. And I never looked back. I haven't been a guest since then. And I've really found an answer to any questions I ever had about my faith journey at this church.
Now, in 2021, we are continuing that tradition. In today's lingo, those early pioneers faded forward. They gave what they had to fulfill a higher purpose, to worship and serve God and their neighbors. The Imagine What Could Be campaign is our opportunity to pay it forward into the next generation. Now we have taken over the mantle and are carrying the responsibility so that the original purpose will continue to be fulfilled. We are so blessed to have committed members who are making such a difference in our congregation and in our community.
My family history goes back to the founding of this church, and so personally, I feel a responsibility to my family to do everything I can to help keep this church alive and growing. And I really do hope that this campaign can promote that growth and continued growth. You know, if we can get some more bodies here in church and we can continue to meet on Sundays and do the work God has for us, then I think that would be a great thing.
We live in a small community, and we need to reach out to the people who don't come, and for whatever reason, sometimes it's really hard to come into a different church, even if you're from the community. And I feel that we need to, that this campaign will help us reach out to more people, and they see what we do here and the love and the friendship and the companionship that we have here. Very important. And being in a small community, if we don't keep up our community and our fellowship, we're going to end up without a church, because all those small churches are going by the wayside, and we can't let that happen here. This church has been here for too long, and we can't do that.
Looking to the future, that's what it's all about, that's where you keep your eye on the future and just go ahead and maintain your physical structure, but maintain your inside too, and keep your faith, and embrace the family, which is the church. It's just a wonderful place to be. We thoroughly enjoy being here.
I would like to see Selbu continue for the next generations, for my granddaughters, and for all the other grandchildren that are coming up, so that we can continue the legacy that we have built here at Selbu.
As far as the future for Selbu, I hope that this little church will keep going. We get a few people here now. We'd like to get a lot more, but we've got a great following online. I think that it's got a lot of promise here.
I hope for the future of Selbu that it can be here and alive, and people coming and going, and people welcoming to be here, and know that this is still home church, and that the pastors and the leaders that we have in the church will be encouraging people to come so that it will continue. We just thank God for Selbu Lutheran Church.
We are on this marvelous journey together. The early saints, those born in Norway in the late 1800s, gave all they had: heart, soul, hard work, money, and prayer. The journey was new for them, the destination unknown. But they were driven by a passion for reaching out with the good news, for sharing hope, faith, and love to a world in need. That is the same passion that helped us in our capital campaign of 2014. Can you imagine where our church would be right now if we had not given nearly $150,000 to build a new roof, renovate the bell tower, add the handicapped chairlift, do repairs inside our church and in the parsonage, and so much more? Because we're asked to give, we gave. And because we gave, our church is in a very strong position today. Every journey has a starting point, and this is ours. Today truly is the best time to plan for the future. Imagine what could be is our starting point for the next chapter. One by one, through the decades, people joined in our ministry and became part of the fabric of Selbu. Their individual journeys became our collective journey. The faithful were creating a history, our history. Now is the time for us to renew our resolve to support our life-shaping mission with our time, talents, and treasures. Now is the time we live out our theme from Ephesians 3:20. Now to Him who is able to do immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine, according to His power that is at work within us. Now is the time to trust our future into God's hands, and that future is good, very good. There are unique moments in life that come only from time to time, moments that are either seized or passed by. With a successful campaign, Selbu will do something that only a very few rural congregations ever do: boldly move beyond survival mode into the realm of new hope, new dreams, and new possibilities. While some country churches see only a dwindling population, a select few see that plenty of people remain. Selbu has been chosen to be that beacon of hopefulness. And that is exactly why this beloved congregation needs all of us to seize this moment, all to the glory of God. Imagine what could be.